Hi, welcome back to True Astrology. My name is Nicole,
And I'm Dave.
and we are having full moon in Aquarius as of today. And I'm sure a lot of people talk about the full moon in Aquarius or this lunation. But I want to actually focusing on about this first square from the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction back in 2020. So because a lot of things are coming back, right? So it was almost 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time of the conjunction, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction actually happened December 22nd, 2020. This is a 20 years cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the, I would say, set global trends and changes in the financial and global leaders and governmental structure, so on, or even like presidency, right? So back in 2020, we were having USA election,
Mm-hmm.
and now, August 2024, we're having USA election as well. And also back then, it was a COVID lockdown, and we're discussing, we're like a lot of this kind of ideas about the monkeypox is surfacing out. So a lot of similarity is coming back from there.
Yeah, so a lot of the similar themes from 2020 are resurfacing because the energy is testing us, I guess, right? So collectively as well as individually, um, on those seeds that were planted 4 years ago.
Yeah, not only that, this 20 years a cycle, and we're having first a square point, and we're gonna have a opposition point in the 10 years, right? Like 20
Mm-hmm.
years in the halfway, it's like next 5 years, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have a last square, so like a waning square, and then we're gonna conclude this 2020, the great conjunction, I guess, commitment.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not like end of the story because of this 20 years of cycle is keep happening, right? Every 20 years. And one point in Bible also talk about this conjunction, right?
Yeah.
So the three wise men when Jesus
Was born? Yeah. So they were
guided by,
yeah, they were following the star in the sky, which was guiding them to Bethlehem, where
yeah,
Jesus was being born.
and this star was the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
So because of this story, this conjunction carries the new king or new leader rising, and old energy is waning down. And also, it's kind of makes sense though, because Saturn carries the old king energy or father figure energy, old governmental structure energy, right? And then Jupiter being king of God or new expansion energy. And not only that, this 20-year cycle is inside of the another cycle, which is the Uranus and Saturn cycle.
Yeah, and that's a 45-year cycle
Mm-hmm.
that started in 1988,
88
and it will be,
have a new.
yeah, new cycle in 2032.
So we're like almost like 80%, I guess, completion in this cycle. So the Uranus Saturn conjunction is all about the social development. So during that time, USA was a leading country, and USA brought the globalization.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost completion of it, and this the Great Conjunction happened 2020 is the, I guess, last Great Conjunction within this 45 years of Uranus Saturn cycle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So the previous Saturn-Jupiter cycle or conjunction was in 2000. So that was right around the dot-com boom.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you can see that we are having a crypto boom.
Mm-hmm.
So there's similar themes, but definitely when we look at evolution and where Pluto is in, and Pluto is basically in the last degrees of Capricorn, so it's really wrapping up the Capricornian themes within our global structure, and then it's moving on to Aquarian themes. So we're really adopting this Uranian, Aquarian, new innovative energy moving
Yeah,
forward.
this Uranus-Saturn conjunction back in 1988 brought deglobalization.
Yeah.
I think it reached the high peak, and now it's really finishing off the Capricornian growth. And now this 2020 conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, and this Jupiterian energy wanna bring the futuristic energy, preparing for the new Uranus-Saturn conjunction will happen 2032.
Yeah, and so in 2032, you we're basically moving
The localization.
towards localization, yeah, because the conjunction between Saturn and Uranus in 1988 happened in in the sign of Sagittarius, and by 2032 they will be conjuncting again, but this time in the sign of Gemini. So that means the cycle started with Sagittarian themes, which is all about expansion, globalization, then the internet came, and then e-commerce. So all of that globalization expansion happened with trade and commerce. And then now we're localizing our communities, right? So you can already see that there have already been talks about 15-minute cities and creating all these
Smart
smart
city.
cities, right? So this is where it's all going, right? So it's all going towards those localized economies that will crystallize, and I guess the new seeds will be planted in 2032. So from now until then, we're going to start to see a lot of developments in that area.
And I see echoing energy back in 2020 with the COVID lockdown, and COVID was the big topic back then, and we were having USA election November, and the lockdown energy was continuously happen throughout the 2021, 2022, I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
And then it got better, and all the lockdown energy lifted off one point, and now it's resurfacing. Because a lot of media talk about the mpox and even talk about the increasing COVID case. And we're having election for USA, right? So a lot of similarity is happening. So, and at the time, we're having Mercury retrograde. So this Mercury retrograde energy is helping us to revisiting this repeating theme in our life and in our social structure. And speaking which, Mercury is actually having conjunction with the Sun, right? With the full moon in Aquarius. This is really amazing energy though, because Mercury conjunction with the Sun, we call that Kajimi, right? So the Mercury can get a brilliant download. This is really auspicious time, and it makes a lot of people a little more smarter, right? Or make you have a really good ideas, brilliant ideas, or breakthrough, things like that. But keep in mind that this Mercury is retrograde.
yeah. So you'll be revisiting a lot of the themes that you wanted to do in the past, and you're bringing those forward and getting a second chance at really bringing those ideas to fruition.
So bring back your memory of 2020, maybe stretch from November 2020, December 2020, and January 2021. And what were you doing? What was the topic, or what was the issue you were dealing with? And find a similarity. Are you having same issue or similar issue, or are you feeling like you're revisiting?
Yeah.
Because that point to now is the first square point. So you're gonna feel a little bit of pressure, whatever happened back then.
That's right. And if there were things that you weren't able to do because life got busy, but the ideas were there. Now it's your time to revisit those things and to really crystallize those ideas into something practical and tangible.
So my advice is now until the end of month, which is the Mercury retrograde time, just think about what you did. Just compare the topic back then if you can find some connections. And Mercury will turn direct in one point. I think August 27,
Around there, yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
From there to another Mercury Sun conjunction. So this will be the true Kajimi because Mercury will be direct
Mm-hmm.
and then conjuncting Sun. So then from that point, you can make a more like active action
Mm-hmm.
towards to whatever situation you're in. So for example, back in 2020, I was focusing on my health. I wanted to do detox, and also I was processing to moving out of the city, going to more like a nature. It was a lockdown, and I was hoping to focusing on spirituality, teaching, astrology, and self-reliance.
Yeah, and also I was interested in learning more about cryptocurrency
Oh yeah,
and
cryptocurrency,
and
yes.
investing and learning about trading. So all those things we've learned actually, and now is our chance to really upgrade.
Upgrade,
Yeah,
yeah.
in
Like,
those
am
areas.
I really going to right
Yeah.
direction? Did I grow as much as what I wanted? And do I need to like develop more area for my future? So that should be the theme. And I remember back then, like a lot of people were fearful of this COVID-19 thing. And my friend had a like Christmas party and we visited them and they won't really allow us to get into the house. They kind of like greet us in the parking garage and like I understand, I don't judge them, but they were really in fear. So I remember I was like wishing to meet people who has a more courage, people who can more, what's the word I'm looking
Who are
for?
more in alignment.
Alignment
Yeah.
with me. You know what I mean? I don't have to explain, oh my God, like don't worry, we will be fine. Like I don't have to do that, right? I was like a little bit, I wouldn't say upset, but it was more like a tired to searching for like-minded people
Yeah,
back then.
trying to find and build the right community.
So I was really hoping that thing happened. And now, 2024, I feel like, yeah, like I actually starting to meeting a lot of people throughout the year
Yeah,
so
actually
far.
we've met a lot newer people since 2020.
Yeah, I would just say 99% of people I used to associate. I don't really meet them often.
As frequently, yeah.
Yeah, as of frequently.
Yeah.
Like it's more like a mutual understanding. It's not like I don't like them, they don't like me. It's nothing like that. It's just energy just really
Yeah,
um
you know how sometimes you meet people and
mhm,
they come into your life
mhm,
to help you, right?
mhm.
And to help you grow ultimately, right? And then once they've served their purpose, many times they fall away. And it's again, it's not positive or negative, but it's just that's the way energy works. And a lot of the relationships, when they have run its course, they tend to fall away as well. And I feel like 2020 was that
Yeah,
gateway, where a lot of
exactly.
the friendships and the people that we used to hang out with a lot, actually, like
Mhm.
every weekend, right? The relationships, they just kind of started to get weaker and weaker throughout,
Mhm.
the past 3 4 years, and now it's like we're in a completely new energy,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So since 2024 August as I'm speaking is the first square point, I feel like yeah, I want to develop this like-minded community more. I
Yeah.
feel like I want to focusing on that area more as well as improving my health.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also about being authentic to yourself and not trying to fit in with people just because, they've fallen away from your life, but it's more like, am I still being authentic, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of people have grown since 2020 as well. So, either you're growing closer together or you're growing apart. And I felt like a lot of the people that we used to talk to, like we've grown apart, and so when
Exactly.
we meet, it's just not the same. The energy is different,
Exactly.
and it just shows that there have been growth, in on both sides of the spectrum, in their lives and our lives, and somehow the energies have moved us into a different direction. So,
But I know some people maybe hold this as I guess, a scar, grudges.
like who?
I mean, like some
Oh,
people,
some
if
people,
some
yeah,
people having similar experience,
yeah,
they might take this a little negatively. But when I see the chart of the moment
yeah,
or moment of the full moon in Aquarius, I see two T square is setting in this chart. So even though you feel, if someone is feeling a little bit unhappy, angry, anxious, or like unhappy, just go within. You know what I mean? Mercury is a retrograde and conjuncting Sun, helping us to go within and have a brilliant idea. However, the squaring to Uranus in Taurus is really close promotes to the fixed sign Algo just want to cut off, and Uranus is like pressured and just want to make a sudden change. And also squaring to Moon in Aquarius. And Moon in Aquarius is a little bit cold, right? A little bit quirky,
yeah.
cold. I want to be unique. I want to be me. I want to be authentic to me. I don't want to like what is 눈치 봐 for like English? I want to be I am who I am types of energy, right? It's like when it's negatively aspected, I don't care about you. I just want to do what I want to do. So this Uranus is the focal point, right? So Sun and Moon is opposition, and then right at the middle, Uranus is creating two 90-degree angle. So it make us to kind of creating some
Impulsive change.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I just want you to, or everyone, to just be aware of it. It's not the time to make this impulsive change.
or at least keep your options open,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because we have a time to revisiting all the like actions or like events happening to us, which is repeating or echoing from 2020. And I see another T square is happening with Venus.
Mars and Jupiter, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, they're like
Yeah,
they had a conjunction.
yeah.
So this Mars and Jupiter conjunction is happening every 2 years, right? Because Mars is going around the zodiac every 2 years and having conjunction with all the like sign. This time around, Jupiter Mars conjunction in Gemini kind of bring us to have a like I want to learn, I want to improve, I want to like do. I would you say learning action?
Yeah, and fact checking as well.
Yeah, fact checking. You want to do something
Yeah.
basically. So Mars is action oriented sign. Jupiter is a teacher and student types of energy. And Gemini is all about learning,
And communication,
communication,
yeah.
right? So this communication, this action oriented energy is also creating another T square to 90 degree to Virgo in, not Virgo, sorry, Venus in Virgo.
Yeah.
This is difficult energy because, like Venus in Virgo is very anal, very,
Critical,
very critical.
yeah. And wants to, narrow focus, right?
Yeah, it's like when Venus in Virgo negatively aspected to squaring Mars in Gemini, for example, and this person can make 1,000 reasons why I don't like you, or like there's a 2 million reason why I don't want this computer to be, let's say, my computer.
Yeah,
Like a
being overly critical on the details. Yeah.
And then Gemini being like an information heavy sign, and it will just write to the death. You know what I
Yeah, or
mean?
debating.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Venus in Virgo is squaring to this Jupiter-Mars conjunction in Gemini. And this conjunction is also creating another 90-degree square to Saturn.
Yeah, and Saturn's in Pisces at the moment.
And also it's a retrograde.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like a lot of criticism, like very nitpicking energy.
Yeah, and Saturn represents authority, and because it's retrograde right now, it's we're dealing with themes of inner authority, actually. And so, in what ways are you, I guess, with Mars and Gemini squaring Saturn in Pisces? In which way are you kind of like being overwhelmed or spreading your energy too thin? Um, and with Saturn in Pisces, it's like you're really restructuring all the things that didn't have boundaries, really, for the past 30
Exactly.
years, right?
Yeah.
So you're really restructuring those things. And it's like, where do I really need to set the healthy boundaries, right? So on one end of the spectrum, it's like you want to do everything from A to Z, with Mars really just, you know, trying to look at all the options and the facts and trying to communicate and debating. Should I do this? Should I do that? And Saturn's like, hey, wait, hold your horses. Right? We really need to rebuild the structure from within and really set the healthy boundaries so that when Saturn comes around again in 30 years to Pisces, that you've grown and that you were able to build your foundations even stronger.
So to sum it up, so don't make impulsive decision,
Yeah.
action, anything just because of you don't like something. Just go within and bring your memory back from 2020, November and December, and stretch to January 2021. If something
Yeah.
really helping you to connecting the dot, you can using that wisdom to help your situation better right now. I think that will be the really good direction you can take. And keep in mind that we're entering crazy storm types of energy, but this is not first time happening in our life. It always happens. We always went through it. So let's be more smart and let's be more centered in our heart space. And we're gonna have a new moon next month. And this is more like a positive energy within like a little bit of a craziness, but again, don't fear about anything, just focusing on your heart space.
Yeah, and we'll see you in our next video, where we're going to talk more about the new moon in Virgo.
Alrighty.
Okay, talk to
Okay.
you then.
Bye.
Bye for now.